When it comes to divorce, one of the hardest questions I remember asking myself, and it's interesting because so many friends that I have that have thought about getting a divorce, or people that I've met who've asked me about my experience, one of the most common questions is, when do you know that it's time? And I asked myself that so much, and you don't know. I mean, there wasn't this like big aha moment, or there wasn't even this huge event. There had been so many other things that had happened in my marriage that you would have thought, this is it. This is the day that I'm leaving. I'm done. And for me, it was just this day I woke up and that was it. I was done. I had been talking to an attorney, and I called her up and I just said, I'm ready to file. There wasn't a big fight. There wasn't, I had tried to do therapy. I'd over the years and tried to do all the things, and I knew I had put my best foot forward, and it just wasn't going to work anymore. So my point is, you just know when you know. There's not going to be somebody who is going to tell you today's the day to do it, or you're not going to read in a book like, these are the instructions and this is when you know that it's time to leave the marriage. It happens from within, and you just know. You know in your gut that it's time to move on. And for me, in my experience, I didn't do the whole separation thing, and we live in two different places. In my mind, if we couldn't work it out at home, we weren't going to work it out in separate places. And after being together for 20 years and the ongoing disagreements, we had moved on. We had both moved on, and so don't wait thinking, there's going to be a lot of signs, and but you'll know when you know. And this is from my own experience. I'm not saying that this is true for everyone, but I remember that being the question, and I would just Google and try to find it in books, and just be like, when do you know? When? Because it's such a big decision, and it's such a hard decision, whether it's just you two, or, especially if you have children or pets you've had together for a long time, but especially when you're splitting up a family, it's a really, really hard decision, and it's so hard to decide that this is it. But you've got to go with your gut internally, and you've got to know that if you're in a really bad situation, mentally, physically, whatever it is, there is light on the other side. I think that we are made to think that divorce is this terrible thing and breaking up a family is this terrible thing. But you know what? To wake up happy and not walking on eggshells every single day, and to have a house how you want to keep your house, and not be in turmoil and not be in arguments or stonewalled or whatever it is, there is so much peace with that. And so I hope that this encourages some of you today. I know that this was some advice that I would be searching for when I was trying to make my mind up as to what to do. And for those of you, if you've experienced anything differently, comment below. This is simply a resource to kind of talk people through some things, whether they're deciding to stay, to divorce, or to stay. In the end, our main goal is I always encourage families to try to stay together, but sometimes it just doesn't work, and sometimes it's better to get out of it and live a more fulfilling life. Thanks for joining.